Texans versus Chargers. Chargers are -3. CJ Stroud versus Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's looking for his first playoff win, believe it or not. And so we have a struggling Texans offense facing an up-and-coming Chargers team. This Chargers team, dare I say, they don't really feel like the Chargers anymore in a good way. You know, you have a team that's always kind of fumbled away big games or somehow lost games at the last second, giving up big leads, kind of like the Falcons to some degree. But Jim Harbaugh has come in here and installed a culture that kind of feels like they've changed a little bit. And for him to be in the spot, double-digit wins in the playoffs in his first year is huge. You know, I really think they have a lot of good things going for him, and it's impressive what he was able to do in year one, especially with some of the talent that this offense is working with. I mean, you have Quentin Johnson out there trying to catch balls. I don't want to say catching confidently, but on the flip side, you have a Texans team, phenomenal defense, but the offense is struggling, which is not something I could say that I expected coming into this year, BJ, but it is what it is. CJ Stroud's kind of having a down year, but can't speak enough about this Houston defense, 8th overall in EPA per play, 6th overall in defensive success rate. So pretty good. There's a low scoring total on this game, 42.5 points. And our model has this game at 18.5 to 16 in favor of the Texans. So a flipped spread here compared to what Vegas has. But I must say, if I was Vegas right now and the way that the Texans offense were playing, I don't blame them having the Chargers -3 point total. So before I get into any of the numbers and any more of the matchups, BJ, gut feeling about this game. Are you confident in CJ Stroud's ability to go against a really solid Chargers defense and go in here and steal a win?
Yeah, so not really. You know, I look at this game kind of trying to compare apples to apples here. Both defenses are great. The Chargers have the number one scoring defense in the league, which could be problematic if Stroud were to get a little loosey-goosey with turnovers. And then I come to the comparison of Herbert and Stroud. Who would I rather have? And I would rather have Herbert here, regardless of if Herbert has less weapons or not. I mean, you know, this team could be completely different if Stephon Diggs was still there, if Tank Dell was still there. But you've lost 2 of your top 3 receivers. The running game has slowed down throughout the season for the Texans. So, you know, I definitely think it's a low-scoring game. Should be, at least. It's a real low total. And so it's going to be kind of ugly, but I take Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert to prevail in this one. I like them to cover the 3.
So let me ask you something.
What?
In this game, this win, is it more important? Is it more important to CJ Stroud or is it more important to Justin Herbert? You know, because everybody gave CJ Stroud the crown last year. And you look at how he's kind of digressed this year, and it's like, oh man, you really feel for him because I love CJ Stroud, phenomenal dude. I wish him nothing but the best, and I actually think he's going to have a phenomenal career. And you know, he just had a down year, and he's still young, you know, still 22, 23 years old. But this game, is it more important to CJ Stroud moving forward or to Justin Herbert? Because I mean, Herbert's still looking for his first playoff win.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Herbert. I do think that both of these. Strictly because I think Stroud's going to be fine.
Yeah.
You know, he overachieved last year. And so the regression is probably pretty normal, to be honest, because of his overachievement last year. So I think he'll be fine. I think that Herbert needs this pretty bad. He should definitely, I was surprised by that. He definitely should have a playoff win by now. But next year when he gets T. Higgins, they'll be even better. So we'll just have to, they'll both continue to have good seasons the next couple years.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think this game is significantly more important to Justin Herbert because you look at everything he's done in the NFL and then in the regular season. But at the end of the day, as frustrating as it may be, everybody is only going to argue about what you've done in the postseason. You know? Yeah, you could be the greatest regular season quarterback ever, but if you have nothing to show for it in the postseason, you're kind of just discredited a little bit. And it's as much as that sucks for people, especially for people who don't really watch the game, they only look at the box score and the career stats. As frustrating as it may be from people like that who don't actually watch the game tape and the games, it is what it is, man. Justin Herbert needs this, like we need air, and I think he knows that. And so I think he's going to come into this game ready to go. Now, with that being said, BJ, I like the Texans here. I actually do. In my humble opinion, this Texans offense, we've seen them bottom out pretty badly. I think that they've hit their floor, but they have yet to reach anywhere close to their ceiling. Again, I'm really taking a gamble here because obviously the Texans, they haven't really proved a whole lot as of the past couple of weeks on the offensive side of the ball, especially CJ Stroud, but I think it's there, and you look at the carousel of wide receivers that he's had to throw to. It's just a matter of him getting back in rhythm. Nico Collins has been there for a couple weeks. I think he's finally good to go. And I mean, he's still got Dalton Schultz back there. Joe Mixon is ready to go. He's had a phenomenal year with Houston Texans. They just signed Deontay Johnson, so that could be some help. He got a couple snaps last week, so we'll see how much effect that has. But I really like the Texans to come out here and kind of prove to everybody like they still have what they have from last year into this year. And some of their numbers aren't horrible. They're not great. 22nd overall in EPA per play. Their defense is great. They're 8th overall in EPA per play allowed. And I think their defense is going to cause a lot of problems and kind of open the door for CJ Stroud to not have to do too much to win this game. As great as Justin Herbert is, as great as this Chargers offensive line is, I think they're going to need, they just need more playmakers. You can't go out there with Quentin Johnson. I mean, Ladd McConkey, phenomenal year. I think he's going to have a great career. Nothing bad about Ladd McConkey. But if he's your wide receiver one going into a game like this against a top 10 NFL defense, I'm going to question the capabilities of winning that game. Chargers are absolutely capable of winning this game. They very well might. They're favored to do so. But I just give the benefit of the doubt to the team that, in my opinion, has more talent on both sides of the football. So give me the Texans here. The Mono likes the Texans. I like the Texans. We're going to rock with it. Any rebuttals, Beach?
Yeah, I mean, low-scoring game could go either way. I mean, the Chargers are 3 points on the road in the playoffs, which is kind of crazy. The Texans are the number one most penalized team in the NFL. That's my only addition to what we've talked about so far is, I've watched games where they were in prime position to win a game and they just didn't because penalties. So that could play into it as well. Even if it's not in the final seconds, throughout the game, they got 10 penalties, it's going to be really difficult to come back from that. So,
yeah. Yeah. And I mean, again, I'm not saying here with any sort of confidence that the Texans are going to go in here and smash the Chargers because they certainly will not. The Chargers have a phenomenal defense. They have a great offense, stable offense nonetheless. It's only gotten better. Look what they did to the Patriots just a few short weeks ago. J.K. Dobbins is back healthy as well, so that's huge. Top offensive line for the first time in Herbert's career. So everything bodes well for the Chargers here. It's just, looking at this, I really like the Texans defense to create chaos for Justin Herbert. And now the Chargers defense may create chaos for CJ Stroud, and that could be a whole nother issue. But I mean, it's just truly amazing what's going to, to me, I love this game for the sole purpose and the sole storyline behind CJ Stroud versus Justin Herbert. So we'll see who can elevate themselves. And if the postseason brings on a different persona, different mentality for these two guys. So a lot to be excited about here. I like the Texans. BJ likes the Chargers. So consider it a beer bet.
Ooh.